What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ink Drink Think, episode 14. Tonight, we're drawing dinosaurs. We're talking dinosaurs, somewhat. We're going to get into some other topics as well. But on this episode of Ink Drink Think, we're drawing dinosaurs at the very least. I am your host, Michael Pickard, and as always, I am joined by my wonderfully talented co-hosts and friends, Johnny Wise. Johnny, you have the floor.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Johnny. As I said on the last episode, I am doing a primal piece for our dinosaur episode. I only just recently started getting into primal. I think it was mentioned on a couple episodes ago. So I'm doing some T-Rexes, some Velociraptors. I'm getting pretty dinosaur-y with it. I got pretty far into the ink so far. So that's where I'm at right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
man.
it's going
Solid.
somewhere.
Let's see that. Cool.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's getting somewhere. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and we'll see where it goes from there. I might have to duck out early this episode, but that's okay. And tonight I'm drinking a Hop House. I'm nearly finished with that one. I'm getting a little bit drunk this episode. That's okay.
Well, it's all right.
Yes, sir.
It's all right. You might bail out
We're not
early,
worried
Johnny,
about that.
because if anybody's seen the Danny Walsh Hangout episode, you know that Nate is my only loyal friend. So that goes to you
Yes,
too,
sir.
Todd.
Yeah, there we go. I'm not loyal. I'm treacherous, if anything.
Uh,
I think that's cool.
Treacherous
Me
Johnny.
too.
God bless the scoundrel.
Of course, guys, as always, we're also joined by our fellow co-host and friend, Nate Wells. Nate, you are up, buddy.
Hey guys, Nate Wells. Really excited to finish this drawing. It's a drawing that I was not really excited about. In part one, I liked it. I didn't love it. And now I'm really starting to love it. I'm doing a piece inspired by the opening chapter of Darwin Cook's New Frontier, where the losers take on dinosaurs on Dinosaur Island. So I've got John Cloud sort of like hiding from a T-Rex with his little, it's like a Thompson machine gun, I think. Probably have not drawn it very accurately, but it's looking cool. I'm mostly drawing foliage this episode, which is something that can be really automatic and fun, and also really stressful because there's a big pocket here. When I flip the camera, you'll see it that I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if it's a bush, if it's grass, if it's like palm fronds. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about this one, actually. Didn't think I was going to be. I'm still drinking my Ballast Point Sculpin IPAs. Super good from San Diego. Balled out a little bit for this episode because it's a fun one. Yeah, looking forward to finishing this one.
Awesome, man. Well, I know from part one that it's a absolutely stellar drawing, so I'm quite excited to
Thank
see if
you.
you finish it or not. Don't rush yourself, though. Don't pressure yourself to finish. It's okay.
No, I'm gonna finish it.
Not all of us finish
no,
during episodes. Don't make it a standard.
I'm gonna finish it.
Guys, of course, someone who isn't as stubborn is joining us as always, and that is Teacher Todd himself, Todd Blackwood.
Shoot, you caught me off guard. Let's see. So I am. I wanted to draw a Triceratops with feathers. So I am doing my version of Jack Kirby's Devil Dinosaur #1, and that's my version of him as a Triceratops with feathers, and of course Moon Boy on the top, and there's some cavemen now that are. I'm basically just like tracing Kirby for most of the rest of it. Other than the dinosaur and some of the flame, and I thought there was flame in the background, but apparently there isn't. So I'm making that part up.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go. And yeah, it's earlier for me in my time zone, so I had a bunch of coffee and I am good.
Same here.
Yeah, what less to expect than Todd than energized coloring and tracing and absolute editing masterpieces. So I'm excited to see where the Devil Dinosaur background goes for this one.
Yeah, me too. Should be interesting.
So, guys, to round out our typical quartet, like I said, I'm Michael Pickard. If you saw part one, I'm working on this Hulk versus a T-Rex in the Savage Lands drawing. It's fun. I love the Hulk. Hulk's just the best character to draw. You can just do so many fun things with his anatomy, his form, and of course in coloring it too. He's a huge green guy. What's not to love? But of course, guys, if you saw part one, you already know. If you saw the title of the video, you probably also know. And if you're watching right now, you can clearly see there's a fifth member joining us tonight, and that is none other than professional comic book artist Tom Reilly. Tom, you might know from his various works, published and just through his social media. Absolute talent, and we are having an absolute blast having him. So without further ado, guys, Tom Reilly.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you asking me to be on the show. I am drawing one of the Crystal Palace dinosaurs, one of the original concepts for what dinosaurs could have looked like back in the 1800s. Some English dude came up with it. I don't know what his name was. I think his name was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
I hope so.
If only.
Sounds right.
That would be awesome.
I am a comic book artist. I have worked on things like The Immortal Hulk, X-Men Marvel Snapshots, and the soon-to-be-out Morbius Bond of Blood.
To get into the dinosaur conversations for tonight, I wanted to quickly get into a bit of a theory I have about the Christopher Nolan film, The Prestige. One of his earlier films, one of his more famous movies. I have a sneaking suspicion that it was inspired by the true events of the Bone Wars, which took place during the 1800s between two paleontologists, Cope and Marsh, and it's an unparalleled true story, in my opinion, of two guys who absolutely hated each other, trying to ruin one another's lives throughout the course of their careers.
The best stories.
Tale as old as time.
Around that.
So the thing that's really funny about the whole Bone Wars is that you would think that two guys arguing over dinosaur fossils wouldn't be as I'll call it violent or aggressive as it actually was. But as the true story goes, let me flip my camera real quick so I can ink and parlay the true events of the Bone.
There wasn't that much to do in the 1800s.
Yeah. So, admittedly, at first, without Twitter, how else were you supposed to beef your rivals?
What else were you supposed to do?
So, Cope and Marsh actually met in Germany when they were studying abroad as young adults, similar to the crew that you see before you on Ink Drink Think. And they were actually very good friends from the start, to the point where during their early paleontological careers, they both named dinosaurs after one another.
It's kind of hot.
They were friends. They were buddies. You don't just name a dinosaur after a dude if you're not close friends, right? It was more than a respected colleague situation. They must have been very close friends. But as all friendships do, it crumbled into absolute hatred. And Cope and Marsh spent the rest of their lives trying to dismantle one another's careers. And it's all because Cope, in assembling an Elasmosaurus, put the head of the dinosaur on its tail. And Marsh pointed it out to him publicly in a paper saying, "My esteemed colleague misidentified this specimen and has placed the head on the wrong side of the body." And this sparked...
That was pretty fucking lame.
Yeah. You would hope, from a bro perspective, that he'd reach out to his friend and be like, "Yo, man, like you goofed on that one," but he didn't. He went to the
in
papers.
the newspaper?
He went to the press, and he outed
Why
his
don't you just
friend.
write him a letter?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, man, but what led from this lack of clear communication between two adult men was the Bone Wars. So throughout the rest of their careers, these two men would sabotage their own dig sites. So, for example, when they would be done excavating from a certain quarry for fossils, they would blow it to smithereens with dynamite so that the other one couldn't come in and find more specimens later.
Jeez.
These two were rushing to name dinosaurs at a rate that was so fast that despite the fact that during their careers they named over 100 different new species of dinosaurs, only 43 are recognized today as unique specimens that weren't previously discovered.
So they're making stuff up.
Do you have any examples?
So, as a prime example, the Brontosaurus Apatosaurus debate. The Apatosaurus was a dinosaur that was previously discovered, but I believe Cope was the one who deliberately named a fossil he had found as the Brontosaurus. But actually, here's the update on that story from 200 years ago, is that allegedly there has been more evidence to conclude that the Brontosaurus might have been a different species than the Apatosaurus. So that particular record may not have been completely tarnished, but the jury is still out on that one. But, of course, as I've told my co-host before, and Tom, I don't know if I had mentioned this to you before we started recording, the bitter rivalry ended. And when the first of the two died, I couldn't find information on who died first. He donated his body to science, and his rival bought his remains and kept his skull on his desk.
That's what I'm going to do with all of you.
And I bet it was the guy who was right, too. I bet the guy who was wrong is the one.
The one who did that?
I bet the guy who was wrong bought the right guy's skull, yeah.
Yeah, just out of pettiness.
Probably.
That just seems like how it would turn out, yeah. And then he just have to decisions knowing he was just fucking with him.
Right.
Yeah. I'd imagine that's how it went. That's how it always
the
went.
head on the wrong place?
So that was Cope.
Okay, well he was the guy who was stupid.
Yeah.
Case closed.
But so this is where the story, I think, was the main influence for the Prestige. Marsh came from a very wealthy family. And so, similar to the Prestige, one of the two gentlemen came from a very wealthy upbringing, and the other did not. And so...
Ooh.
Were they...
Oh, I was just going to say that the fact that they're differing in upbringings... Oh, excuse me, to backtrack slightly. Similarly to the Prestige, where Borden and Algier start as co-workers working under the same magician, one of them makes a mistake that the other tries to point out, and it causes the one his reputation and career to some extent, and that's what starts the whole feud and rivalry. In the Bone Wars, as I touched upon, Cope made the mistake of misplacing the head on the tail of the dinosaur, and the other one tried to point it out that it was a mistake, and it led to a career-long dispute between these two gentlemen who used to be friends.
He didn't really saw that woman in half.
Yeah.
That rabbit was in the hat the whole time.
But Hugh Jackman's wife did drown.
Were they both? Were these paleontologists both incredibly handsome? Or were they both just kind of unremarkable?
In my mind, I like to picture them as both incredibly handsome, but...
I kind of feel like they were both unremarkable, though.
Yeah.
Like, these are just some dudes.
And plus it's the 1800s, so keep in mind hygiene probably wasn't at the height of what we have today.
Yeah, they probably smelled like shit.
Could be.
But yeah, those are the Bone Wars. I've been excited to parlay that information to you guys a little bit more in depth after having done some research. I think it's interesting. I think, like, on a similar level, if they were both as, I'll call it, conniving, I think the Kirby-Lee relationship could have ended the same way. But I think one of the two was a bigger man.
Kirby's skull on Lee's desk.
Yeah.
I might actually have to duck out earlier than I thought. I'm going to have to head out now.
Did you want to showcase where you got to during the episode?
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Okay, so I've ditched my pencils here and just got to the inks. So I got all of... So I did my primal piece, and I got all of the T-Rex in, all of the guy in. We had an off-camera discussion about whether to have the arm coming in behind, and I think we all settled on, even though it wouldn't anatomically be right, it looks cooler.
Hell yeah.
It and more like motiony, it coming in behind. So I've gone with that, and I feel like I left it in a place that I like. I feel like if you're ever in doubt about something working, just put that particular bit in silhouette, and it'll probably work better. Rather than putting it in loads of detail. I said before at some point that I was having maybe this was off recording, that I was having a big issue at first with him. I wanted to have him like pointing down with a spear at one of the velociraptors, and it just wasn't really working for me. So instead I had him throwing the spear, and because it's primal and it's super violent, I figured I'd have it going straight through the eye of one of the raptors. So
Nice.
I started putting that in there. Pretty happy with that gory eye. That'll be more gross in coloring, I think. But yeah, I got somewhere with it. This and last episode were like the first of a few where I haven't finished even inking it. But I don't know if you can see the pencils here. There's a bit more to come in the pencils. Bit more raptor there, bit more raptor there. And I hadn't even got started on the background, which I was kind of same as Nate and Tom. Oh no, Tom was getting pretty far with his background actually. But I was pretty much just gonna figure it out as I went along. Didn't know where I was gonna go with that, but some kind of foliage was what I was thinking, and I'll get there. That'll be up on Instagram. But yeah, other than that, that's about where I got. I'm happy with the T-Rex, and for now,
It's
I'm
looking solid.
Arm. Thanks, man. Yeah, what do you think of the arm? Where I settled with it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I dig that.
I like
Yeah,
Just like a solid shape. Yeah, I like that.
yeah. For now, I'm happy with it. We'll see where I am tomorrow.
Tomorrow it's too late.
Yeah,
Too
you're
late.
right. Yeah, yeah. I think I'll just leave it as is. I'm not gonna fuck about with it too much. I like this. I've settled on I don't know if this shows up too well, but I've settled on. I didn't know where I was gonna go with like scales and things, and I settled on just like a dashy line kind of effect. Anywhere where I wasn't sure, or whether there was too much blank space on any of the dinosaurs, and it seems to be working out for me so far.
I like that texture that you put in there. I think it's cool.
Thanks, man.
It feels like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I quite like
it. Feels leathery.
Yeah, as soon as I started doing it, I was like, this feels dinosaur-y vaguely. That'll work. Why not?
Wow.
That's awesome, man. You're killing it. And I know, for no shocker to anybody who's a fan of yours, it's coming along. It's coming along absolutely stellar. It's great.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how all of yours come along. I'll definitely be very tuned into Instagram in the next couple of days to see how it comes along.
You're such a liar. You don't check our Instagrams. You're not a true fan. When have you ever rewatched an episode, Johnny?
I've never watched an episode. I don't follow you guys. I don't.
That's the
Wow.
spirit.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. But it's been really good drawing with you all, and good to meet you, Tom.
See you, man.
You too.
Love your work, man.
Love your work too.
Oh, thanks, man. All right. See you later, guys.
All right, Johnny.
See you,
Take it
Johnny.
easy, buddy.
See ya.
So, guys, we can get into one more dinosaur conversation, but as Tom had been the one to pitch the question, Tom, I'm going to ask you what two dinosaurs you're going to pair up for this, but which two dinosaurs would win in a fight? If you want to pitch two dinosaurs for us to...
Or do I have to pitch two dinosaurs to beat all the rest of the dinosaurs in a fight?
No, I was going to say, if you want to present the two dinosaurs that you think would go toe-to-toe and which one would win, we can argue about it.
Okay, let's think here. We got an Allosaurus. You know Allosaurus?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we've got an Albertosaurus. You know what that is?
Is that a long-necked dinosaur?
An Albertosaurus is basically like a tiny T-Rex. It's like a T-Rex that's about the size of an Allosaurus.
Yeah, but it's like from Canada, right?
It's from Canada. It's from Alberta.
Yeah.
So they're about the same size. Different time periods. Both kind of apex predators of their area. Tough. Cool. They'd each be the sexy pick and who would win in a fight, so that might be a tough one.
Yeah, that's tough, especially because you said they're approximately the same size, right? So
Barely. I'm not a scientist, so someone could fact check me on that. But
wait, we brought you onto the
they're
show
from
for
the
your
same
dinosaur knowledge, Tom.
I know. I lied my way onto the show.
It's all right. Johnny did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're telling me.
He's not here to answer anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough, especially because it's like, if they're approximately
It's a dinosaur you've never heard of before.
that as well, that definitely doesn't make it easier. But if they are roughly the same size and they fill similar niches in their environment, it's like, ooh, what is the answer there?
I got another one too. If you guys it might be easier. Actually, I don't know if you know one of these dinosaurs either.
We'll throw it out. We'll see what it is.
You know what a baryonyx is?
The name is very familiar.
It's like a river-dwelling dinosaur. It's kind of a larger. You know what a Spinosaurus looks like?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that without the fin. And you know how the velociraptors have a big, like, hooked claw on their feet?
Mm-hmm.
The baryonyx has a big hooked claw on its forefinger on its hand for catching fish.
Oh, wow.
So that thing versus the Spinosaurus, which is the I think the largest theropod dinosaur, which has just been proven to be a water-dwelling and aquatic dinosaur recently.
How big was this other dinosaur that you mentioned?
Not as big, but also probably not as stupid looking as the Spinosaurus is. It definitely looks tougher, and I wouldn't, size doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
better.
that's true.
Damn, that's a tough one too.
It's up
Because
to you guys to decide.
I'm a big Spinosaurus fan, having grown up rewatching the VHS for Jurassic Park 3 my entire childhood.
That is not the same dinosaur. That is a Hollywood recreation of
Yeah. It's a true thing.
strange looking dinosaur.
Well, don't they have not much records as to what that actually looked like? There's like a photo that like the Nazis blew it up, or the Americans blew it up, and because they had one skeleton and it was in Germany. and so they have photos of the skeleton, but that's all the records they really know of that dinosaur.
Spinosaurus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd's right.
Or-
Actually, there's very limited
wrong?
information on the specimen because the only fully collected one was blown up in World War II, I'm pretty sure.
Is there not more recent studies as to what it may have looked like and how it may have lived? I'm pretty sure within like the last year, like this year, people have come to some conclusions.
Well,
as to how...
the,
I'm
I
getting
think
a
the
little
problem
too
is
dinosaur-y for
the
this, I think.
fossils. Unless they discovered new fossils is the issue. But I could be wrong. But
I don't
think
know what they
any.
did. I just know I'm seeing a bunch of weird-looking Spinosauruses on my Twitter feed.
Cool.
And they look like a fish with legs. They look stupid. But they're huge, so I mean, I don't know.
Well, actually, as a tangent on that note of like reconstructing dinosaurs, have you guys seen any of the posts online about the fat neck penguin dinosaurs?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah.
So it's a fun theory that if you look at the skeleton of a penguin, its neck is extremely long. I don't know how many vertebrae are in there, but it's an extremely long neck in proportion to its actual body, and it's covered in this thick layer of blubber. So this fun hypothesis, I don't know if there's any pun intended weight to it, is that long-necked dinosaurs actually had this thick blubbery neck around their long spinal cords. And instead of having like a little head on the top of a long, thin neck, it's like a little ball at the top of this big, thick, like forearm-looking neck. As an alternative, hypothetical design for what they could have looked like.
Huh.
It's really funny. And I wish it were true, because it would make the long-necked dinosaurs look a little bit cuter. But
Yeah, I have seen that, and it is adorable. Like, they would still be, obviously, just fucking huge, but it's way cuter than, like, a scaly giraffe.
I'm also kind of hesitant. It's funny, I'm hesitant to draw dinosaurs because of that fact of, like, if by some means we discover what dinosaurs actually looked like on some level, and I've done a ton of illustrations of these scientifically inaccurate dinosaurs, I'm gonna feel like a dingus, you know?
Yeah, I don't care. They're all made up, like they were real, but we don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
So I've said that like 8 times on the show. That's something that I firmly believe in. Like I care as much about drawing accurate dinosaurs as I would like accurate aliens or like an accurate Bigfoot. Because like this stuff, at least like what I'm doing for this particular drawing is like absolutely fiction. It's fine if it's like just the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would never want, if we learned that like T-Rexes were covered in feathers or whatever, I wouldn't want a remake of Jurassic Park with a feathered T-Rex.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we don't need that.
That's true.
I think for science, absolutely. Yes. Scientists look at my drawings and go, that's not right. And I'm going to go, yeah, but he's also eating a dude from World War II. So there's already some problems.
See, I would feel worse about it with aliens. Because if we ever make contact with them someday and they see how the concept of extraterrestrials has been portrayed in American media in particular, I feel like they're going to be very offended.
I think it's only going to be a problem if they're hot.
Okay. So if they look that...
if an alien is like a gaseous ball that's sentient, they're going to be like, oh, cool. We have like bodies and eyes. Now, if the aliens are smoke shows, they're going to be upset that we drew them as like little skinny pot-bellied gray dudes with big eyes. They're going to be mad.
Maybe.
Are you talking
just as
about
the dinosaurs would be, dude, dinosaurs
space
could have
guy?
been hot, you know?
guess.
Are you talking about the chief of space, whatever, security from Israel?
No, but I love to transition into that because that
You're not?
story. No, we were talking about reconstructions of.
the existence of a galactic federation of aliens.
Wait, what?
Apparently, there's this like former chief of space security of Israel who just came out and said that for the past 30 years we've been in contact with a galactic federation of aliens.
Wow.
And there's a secret base underneath the crust of Mars where we go to meet the aliens, and that we've come to agreements based on our knowledge of the fabric of the universe.
Wow. I hope that's true. I think.
I don't see why you would bullshit that. I mean, I guess I see why you would.
I hope it's not true. I don't know. I don't want aliens,
it's
man.
It's probably true.
Not in my lifetime. Shit.
It's probably true. We're not going to see aliens.
I used to not think that stuff was true, but now I'm not so sure. Now I'm starting to believe it.
Just based on sheer probability.
Yeah.
It can't be the only planet.
Well, also
that's as far as I'll go, and I won't pry any further. It's probably true. Fuck.
I don't think that we're the only planet with life. I just don't know that aliens are like a thing that have been here. Although I think it would be really cool. I've explored the thought a lot and tried to make it into a story, unsuccessfully so far. That like our idea of aliens, it would be really cool to explore that in a story where we are the aliens. We actually are the most advanced life forms in the galaxy or the universe. And when we start to explore other planets, like we are the aliens, and we end up being these ancient deities for other planets. Like that would be fun.
Yeah.
But we're so shitty.
We are so shitty, though.
That'd suck.
Yeah, I would be
I find that hard
disappointed
to believe.
if we were the best. That would be disappointing.
I'd be solidly underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Better.
Right.
Nate, I find it hard to believe because you're the one talking about hot aliens a minute ago that you, of all people, don't want them to be real. I'm just saying.
You know, hey.
That's just a cover up.
Yeah.
If they are hot and they want to come here and they are down, I'm all about it. You know?
Your Tinder is linked below in the description.
My Tinder is linked below. I hope that is the case. My Tinder's going intergalactic. Yeah, my Tinder's going intergalactic as of this episode. So
this bigot ain't no bigot.
Glorcon, I'm coming for you, girl. You're fine as hell.
This one's for the future of mankind.
Yeah, no, I want to believe that Israeli former security chief so much with all of my heart. I want to believe it. Of course, I'm skeptical because, of course, there have been other former like Canadian military officials who have come out and said the same, like similar claims of like there are 13 species and like 3 of them hate us, but the rest are pretty cool.
They were just wrong.
Yeah, everybody was wrong up until this guy. But
yeah, and I mean, I think Johnny has said that too. So there's not a whole lot of stake to be put in that.
Yeah, if Johnny has said it, it can't be that accurate.
Guys making stuff up.
Yeah.
But with like regards to like the naval footage that has come out from like pilots chasing UFOs, that is confirmed. It's not like fake footage. Like the government has confirmed like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Like, what are you to say to that? Like,
Blue Book.
Which is bananas, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's bananas.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I can understand skepticism, but I think it's there's a fallacy in claiming that none of it's true. You know, like you can't argue with official naval footage. like what are you supposed to argue against that with?
Well, the assumption that it's... What's that?
Source?
Source?
For that naval footage? You have a source?
You asking us?
reputable source?
Yeah, I mean it's.
No, that's not. That's how I'm saying you can argue against it.
Oh,
That's what
gotcha.
everyone says to argue against anything. It's a source.
Well, Joe Rogan. He's a great. He's always,
yeah.
The pinnacle
Our
of truth.
podcast one-time brother Joe Rogan. He knows.
Well, here, why don't we hop around then to everybody's pieces and check out where we got to in this episode. Tom, your dinosaur looks incredible.
No, that looks so
There it
good.
I love the hand presentation.
That's factually correct,
Yes.
but there he is. He's just sitting. That's about all he can do.
yeah, that's awesome.
The lumpy
What else?
sack of potatoes that he is.
Not very.
No.
Yeah,
Time and place.
not very fit.
Love the plant life. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
really mad at myself now for drawing similar vegetation. That seems like a mistake on my part now, but
I disagree with you.
I have every like Jorge Zafino reference available to me open right now, and I hope
hell
that it worked.
Huh.
Tom, I really like what you did with
It looks
the dry brush.
really good.
Yeah.
Where?
Across the dinosaur.
Oh, the little scales
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, or if it's not dry brush, I'd love to know what you did there.
That's just a pencil.
Oh, okay.
That's
Bro.
just little individual. Where is he? Scales. The pencil. It's all
Damn.
blown out. Let me. There we go.
That's
You see
amazing.
that?
Yeah, I can see the ridging. I hadn't realized that you had done
It's just
that.
a little. Yeah, it's just a pencil. No, nothing fancy there. Just a pencil.
Sweet.
But from farther away, I guess, yeah, it kind of looks like a. It kind of blends together. It is just little kind of scallop shapes with a mechanical pencil.
Well, man, I'm excited not to see it on my admittedly crappy screen because if that's the case, if you actually went in there and did all of those individual scales, I'm so psyched to see this piece scanned and finalized.
Yeah, I'll scan it up. I will throw it on the grams. That's it. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Iguanodon,
Very cool.
I guess.
Yeah, dude, this is absolutely stellar. And what else could we have expected from you?
Yeah, very cool.
Something not as good.
No, man, this is absolutely to par with everything you've done in your portfolio. So I'm sure anybody who's watching the episode is going to be absolutely blown away by this. All three of them. By all three of us, I mean Johnny. I mean Todd, Nate, and myself rewatching it, and Johnny not rewatching it.
and Johnny being a tool. Love you, bro. A little bit, not much, but a little bit.
Well, here, Nate, you've got a lot to say right now. Why don't we move over to your finished dinosaur
Let's see.
piece?
Let's see.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
foliage.
No, I'm excited about this one. I think it came out pretty strong. Made up a lot of the background as I was going, which sometimes doesn't work. In this case, I'm pretty happy with it. I could probably touch it up a little bit, but generally, I think it's pretty good. I was gonna actually originally have more rock formation in some of the background elements, but then the foliage just kind of took over, and I thought that was okay, so I just ran with it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I think it looks pretty good. Up here in the corner, I've got the little blurb. It's actually from the book. It says John Cloud was a loser.
Cool.
Oh,
Which
right.
is kind of like what he says before he jumps into this thing's mouth with grenades and dies. Spoiler alert for The New Frontier, the first like 10 pages. I thought it would be really cool. I kind of, when I was drawing this, I was like, it just feels like a kind of a splashy page from a comic. If I was, for whatever reason, redrawing the New Frontier, this would be a page from it. And so I added that, and I like it. I think this is looking pretty solid. I don't have any complaints with it really at the moment. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow, but
Well, I think it looks incredible, especially your layout in particular.
Yeah, I dig it.
oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
composition is stellar.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was concerned with. I was worried that John Cloud here would get lost. If I didn't make the mountain rock formation fouliage background thing black enough. But then I got into it and I added a little more white than I thought I was going to. But I am glad that he still reads. And it's also, I guess, really, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not a bad thing. He is kind of hiding in the image.
Exactly.
So it's probably not terrible if he is sort of like blended in a little bit.
Yeah, I think thematically and conceptually, this is a perfect piece to represent that sequence from that book. It's so cool.
These leaves are my favorite. That's my favorite thing, these leaves.
Yeah.
And I like the T-Rex. The T-Rex is good. I think John Cloud is fine. But yeah, the T-Rex and these leaves, solid. Of this whole drawing that I spent hours on now. That's it's always nice when you have like a couple things that you're proud of.
Oh yeah.
Well, here, Todd, why don't we move around to your piece real quick then? How is Devil Dinosaur looking?
Okay.
Also, Todd, you're actually flipped upside down at the moment.
Oh, I am? You mean, so this is upside down right now?
Well, it's technically on its side.
Yeah, it's sideways.
Camera this way.
I was pushing some buttons and I don't know what I did. But I see what you're talking about. Is that okay? This should work. I think.
Perfect.
So there's the first version. I don't know how hard it is to see. And then
dude.
I did some inverting colors, which I like to do. And so you lose the logo and the flame turns white. I almost did this thing where they were jumping into a cave instead of whatever it is, rock formations, by duplicating the rocks that I drew and putting them over the top because I thought that was kind of interesting. But I don't know. I also think that if I do much more with this, I'm probably going to kill it. So it's
always the fear.
Yeah. No, I've been solidly needing to know when I'm done and scale back and know that it's okay to not go overboard sometimes because I really want to over render things and trash it. So I'm trying to simplify and figure out what's important, but this was fun. As much as I love T-Rexes, this is a Triceratops with feathers that look like a parrot. And it was really fun to I wanted to see what I thought that thing would look like. And it seems to me a dinosaur with big spikes on its head. A Triceratops seems like a heroic dinosaur. I don't know. I don't know much about them scientifically, but I don't know. Devil Dinosaur would be a fun book to draw.
Well, I think they have proven that, scientifically speaking, that Triceratops had the highest moral gauge than any other dinosaur. So
yeah, according to the comics made back then. Yeah.
Fun tangent. Did you guys know that when the Stegosaurus was discovered, there's a pocket in its hips that, because of how small its brain cavity is, the paleontologists believe that there was a second brain in the butt of the Stegosaurus because they were like, there's no way this little brain could have operated this giant animal. And it turns out
Wow.
there was not a second brain cavity. It's a gas chamber. But the concept that they were like, this animal is so stupid that it could not have operated without a second brain is really funny to me.
Wow.
I was singing the praises of the Stegosaurus earlier. That's a bummer.
Huh.
But as science has proven, it's not about brain size that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Well, here, guys, to round out this now quartet, because we've already gone through Johnny Wise's piece, and Johnny is now gone. Here's my
Johnny
whole...
was too tuckered.
Too tuckered out. We had to put him to bed. Poor Johnny. But so here's how my Hulk versus T-Rex piece is coming along.
Nice.
Getting a little bit lost in the sauce, as I've been known to do with hatching. But I'm pretty proud of how it's coming out right now in terms of composition and action. I feel like there's a good level of motion to it. I'm getting a lot of, unintentionally, Frazetta Tarzan illustration vibes from what I'm doing here. But again, not intentional. And I don't think that'll carry through when I get into the brushwork. But yeah, all in all, I'm digging how it's turning out so far.
Yeah.
Still have to do.
I love that foot. That T-Rex foot is solid, dude.
This one?
Yeah.
Ah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think we might have been referencing the same Jurassic World T-Rex images online.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I pulled it from there, but I was definitely referencing images from the most recent T-Rex blockbuster movie to get the anatomy right on the T-Rex. But I still have a ton to do in the foliage in the background and getting the dirt and the rocks right down here. And then on top of the line work, I get to brush. So
yeah, I'd love to see the background just really, really dark on this one.
Oh, thanks, silhouetted almost against
Yeah. I think that would be really cool because their shapes, and I don't know what you're gonna do with the anatomy here on the two forms, but right now it's pretty open, it's pretty white. So yeah, if you just added a lot of black jungle shit to the background, I think that would be really cool. That's what leaves are. Leaves are jungle shit.
Yeah, that's all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea in terms of pulling out the contrast because I do have not brush the tool, but the underbrush of the jungle penciled in here. Right. But I think it would work better with a high contrast black and white as opposed to a hatched foliage.
Yeah, that might be cool.
So yeah, that's probably a good idea to do in this midsection here.
A really good book to look at for cheating on that is Lee Weeks on Tarzan versus Predator, which is an amazing book, and his jungle backgrounds in that are fucking incredible. It's so underrated. Walt Simonson wrote it, so it's great. I cannot try to impress upon anybody enough how much I love that book. Just constant great backgrounds and foliage, and he's looking at Frazetta and all kinds of stuff. It's a great moment for that guy. And
I'll have to look that up. You guys know I'm a huge Lee Weeks fan.
Inspiration. Yeah, I feel like that's yeah,
that's my dude.
Mazzucchelli drew the best Batman, and I think Lee Weeks might draw the best Batman. I think I take it back.
Oh, his Batman, his Superman might be my favorite, admittedly.
He draws a great Superman.
When I close my eyes and think Batman, I think Lee Weeks is the Batman.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, his Superman is great. He got the boots wrong in the first issue of
Lee Weeks
when they first introduced post-crisis Superman into the New 52. I don't remember what it was, Superman and Lois or
Lois and Clark was the name of that.
Lois and Clark, is that what the book was called? Yeah, I was revisiting that actually over Thanksgiving. And he got the boots on the costume are just 1 point, and I love his work and I love his Superman, but the boots are just 1 point, and it's got a notch in the middle. Lee Weeks, it's got a notch in the middle, and
how did he? I'm shocked.
But then he gave him the black suit and the beard, and you had to forgive him.
Yeah, it makes me think
suit.
that it was a choice. I don't know why he would have made that choice, but it makes me think that it was a choice because he's drawn it right a million other times. So
Yeah.
I'd be curious to ask him one day why. But and it could have been like, oh, maybe I don't know, didn't realize I did that,
Forgot.
which would be weird. But yeah, who knows? He does a great Batman, though. Oh my God,
It's like an
such a
obvious
great
thing.
Batman.
Just
Absolutely.
walked over on
Yeah.
accident.
Well, what's not an accident, guys, is me closing out the video here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ink Drink Think, episode 14. It's been a blast hanging out with Tom Reilly, guys, so please, by all means, check out everything Tom is doing and everything Tom has done previously. In the description below, we're going to link to Tom's Instagram, his website, and everywhere else you can find Tom's work. And of course, in the description below, you can also find the Instagrams of myself, Nate, Johnny, and Todd, where we, of course, post all of our art. And you can check out the official Ink Drink Think Instagram, where you can find all of the finished pieces from this episode, as well as every episode we've done previously. Make sure you check out the comments and let us know what dinosaur you think would reign supreme in a battle royale of all the dinosaurs. So, of course, guys, like I said, I have been Michael Pickard, joined by my wonderfully talented co-hosts and friends, Johnny Wise, who left us, Nate Wells, and Todd Blackwood. And, of course, guys, thank you again to special guest Tom Reilly. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. The door is open. If you're ever available to hang out, please join us.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Yes, sir.
This was a lot of fun.
Good.
I had fun. I would come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
yeah,
Well,
Good.
that's good. We get a thumbs up. That's a good approval.
Good.
No,
Yeah.
I had a great time
That's awesome.
because I knew I would.
We'll never do Spider-Man with you. Just a heads up. That'll
Why?
never happen.
Yeah, no
Um,
chance.
I've seen your Spider-Man. I never want to draw Spider-Man where it's going to be directly compared to your Spider-Man.
Well,
so
I could draw a different Spider-Man.
y-
There's like a
well,
million.
it's not going to happen. No Spider-Man anything. We'll do like literally any. Probably not Batman either, but anybody
You've already
else.
done Batman,
We'll
so you can't do that for another.
we're gonna
week.
do multiple Batman episodes. Like
So you
that's
guys
going
heard
to
it here
happen.
first. When Tom comes back, we're definitely drawing Spider-Man against Nate's best wishes.
I'll do it. I'll just be mad that it's gonna look bad because Tom fucking Reilly is also gonna be drawing Spider-Man. That dude draws. If you haven't seen it, dude draws a great Spider-Man. Is what I'm
I
getting.
would
At.
draw a different Spider-Man.
No, we want to see Peter Parker. We want to see OG.
I draw Spider-Ham.
Ooh, don't tease us, man.
I'm sure it
That
would
would
be
be fun.
great. I'm sure it would be great.
I love
Yeah.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
But of course, guys, thank you again for tuning into this episode 14. We'll catch you in episode 15. And until then, go check out our previous videos.